Hey, what's up, YouTube? In this video, what I want to do is I want to take you guys through my journey. I've made quite a few phlebotomy videos, and I've never really went in detail about my journey, how I've got from point A to point B, and all of the things in between. Now, I'm going to try to squeeze everything in as fast as I can because when you do a video like past 10 minutes, for me anyway, you have problems uploading it. So just try to work with me. All right. Now, how my career started out was very simple. Went to my doctor's office, had to have some blood work done. And the young lady who drew my blood, she was very efficient. She had quite the technique. So that intrigued me. And once I left the facility, I said to myself, you know what? That's a cool job she got. She gets to interact with people, um, working in healthcare, so I'm sure she's making a good amount of money. So I decided to pursue it. I found a school, and the school offered externship. It was a medical assistant school. I didn't choose to just take a phlebotomy course because I wanted more. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to learn as much as I could. Now, in the midst of going through medical assistant, going through the course, that medical assistant part was hard. Hard for me to stay focused because a lot of it didn't really apply to me. Even though I picked up a few good tips and pointers here and there, for me it was all about phlebotomy. So, months later, we get to the phlebotomy course. Now, what I did was I immediately spoke to the teachers. I was like, look, phlebotomy is what I want to do. This is where, my heart is set on. So the teachers understood that. And it was like, all right, boom, 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 let's get into it. So it come to the point where we start drawing on each other. I immediately grasped it very fast. The teachers was impressed, the students was impressed. I was able to get the blood on the first try, the standard third. So it was very good. Like, I felt like it was my calling, my talent. Now, before the course ended, the teachers informed us of some very bad news. She said the hospital that offered externship or interns, whatever you want to call it, pulled the plug. They're not accepting students from here anymore. I guess the class before us was doing some BS. They wasn't doing things that they should, or they didn't know things that they should, whatever. They pulled the plug. I was devastated. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, yo, I spent all this bread on going to this school, got a student loan, and this is why I came to this school, because it got interns and I'd be able to get a job afterwards. So I was tight. I was tight. So before the course ended, I was like, yo, I got to get something good out this deal. So I went to two of the teachers. One was actually a doctor, and the other one was also a phlebotomy course outside of that school. So I got them to be a reference for me. So that helped out. Also, I had them touch up my resume, make it look professional. So boom, that was all said and done. Now I'm out in the world on my own. Let's go. Now got my resume, got my references. I don't have no on-the-job experience, but it's all good. So I start sending out my resume. Boom, boom, boom. I get an interview. This first interview, it was at a hospital, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. Like, the moment I got to the interview, we start sitting down talking, I felt that things went negative very fast. I just got a cold vibe from this individual. So that didn't work out. So again, back on the scene, sending my resume out, boom, this, that, and the third. And maybe about a month later, I get a call from an endocrinologist. It's a doctor's office. I remember the ad. The ad said, gotta know how to do injections or open to learn it. So get on the interview, and the dude knows that I don't have experience with phlebotomy or injections, but he keeps repeating it. Like, yeah, you got to know how to do injections, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, look, I'm willing to learn it. I'm willing to learn injections. I mean, how hard can it be? I learned how to draw blood, so injections, ain't far behind. But nonetheless, that didn't work out. It didn't. I don't know why, but he was just like big on knowing how to do injections. But I said, like, what the? I'm willing to learn. So what's the problem? But nonetheless, I didn't get that job. So that was two. I got denied already. Now I'm at the point where I'm starting to get discouraged. I'm starting to feel down and out about myself, start doubting myself. So you know what I did? So you know what, Croy, it's time to do a self-evaluation. Now, this is just a helpful hint for you guys. If you guys start going through that, sending your joint out here, there, getting interviews but not getting a job, you may start to get determined. And what happens if you get determined is you might start overlooking obvious things and accepting things that you shouldn't, such as being on an interview and you feel like you're gonna get the job and they say, oh well, we're paying $9 an hour, and you so determined, you got tunnel vision. Those $9 an hour sounded like 20 to you, so you signed the dotted line. Next thing you know, you slaving yourself for $9 an hour. So sometimes you got to take a step back, and that's exactly what I did. And during the midst of my self-evaluation, I did a process of elimination. I said, Croy, is it your attitude? No, it's not my attitude. I have a positive attitude. My attitude is like my blood type, be positive. Ah, you like that. Um, is it my body language? No, it's not my body language. I know how to conduct positive and give off energetic body language. I said, is it the way you talk? Do you sound like you hood, to stand the third, are you using slang? No, it's not that. I can rock with the best of them. I can speak with somebody from Wall Street to the street corner. So I X'd that off. I X'd off a lot. So I said, you know what? It can only be one thing. You're a young black man working in a woman's throne. So I had to accept that. So now I just left phlebotomy alone for a minute. I started working a BS warehouse job, but I still was going to pursue phlebotomy, of course. So now get back on the scene, maybe about 4 months, 5 months later, and this time, I mean, my resume is going out like the paper boy flinging them papers. I mean, they flying. I actually like went inside the phone book, even though the internet was out, out and popping, all this, that, and the third. So you know what? I'm gonna try to do it different, try to stand out. So I'm gonna use the phone book. Call up doctor's office. What's your fax number? I like to send my resume. Boom, boom, boom. So I didn't get no calls there. One point, I did get the call that I wanted. It was for a phlebotomy job in a hospital. The hospital offered like daycare for the kids, like this, that, and the third. So I was like, yo, this is sweet. Get on the interview. Interview is going well. It's going very good. The lady is taking me through the phlebotomy department, introducing me to everybody, shaking hands, this, that, and the third, showing me all the equipment, all the machines, how they work, this, that, and the third. I mean, I really felt like I was part of the team at that point. That's how she made it feel. Um, in the midst of all that, when everything was over, the lady actually walked me to my car. She actually walked me to my car outside the building. We had to walk maybe about what? Maybe about 100 feet. We had to walk to my car. Hospital parking. Sometimes you gotta park way over in West Bubble. So yeah, it was quite the walk. But she walked me all the way there. So I felt really good about this. I'm like, yo, I know I got this job. Ain't no way in hell this lady is gonna do all this if I didn't get the job back. So I said, all right, cool. I said, how long before I hear something? She said, oh, no more than 2 weeks. So I said, bet. So leave the interview, I go home, start celebrating, tell my lady, I'm like, yo, I just got this phlebotomy job in the hospital. We got daycare covered, this, that, and the third. Like, yo, I felt like that dude. I was so happy, like, yo, I can provide better for my family, this, that, and the third. So, yo, I really, really felt good about it. Now, a week goes by. I didn't hear anything. 10 days go by. I didn't hear anything. On the 12th day, the 12th day of Christmas, nah, but on the 12th day, I remember it was the 12th day, I received a letter, and the letter was a rejection letter. I couldn't believe it. I said, how the did I get rejected for this job? Come to find out, the hiring manager already hired someone but did not submit the paperwork to HR. Can you believe that? Because she was going on vacation the next day. So she hired someone, I guess the person right before me. She hired them on a Thursday, and Friday she was out on vacation. And I mean, I can't blame her, because if that was me and I was going on vacation Friday, I ain't submitting a damn thing. I'm getting by the Dodge, I'm gone. But like, yo, I was so heartbroken. I was heartbroken. Like, yo, I was devastated. When I tell you I was devastated, I was devastated. Still to this day, it still bothers me. It does. So that one hurt. It took me a long time to recover from that. A long time. So, again, like in the letter, like every other rejection letter, we'll keep your information on file, this, that, and the third. I didn't want to believe it, but I sort of did because I knew that they would hire me. But nonetheless, of course, I didn't ever get a call back. So from that point on, I had to step back again. I left it alone for a few more months and started working another BS job for a few months. And then got right back in the phlebotomy field again. Resume out, boom, boom, boom. It was on a Wednesday. About 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a phone call. And I got a phone call from a person who I knew for a very long time. They said, Croy, you know, I heard you're looking for a phlebotomy job. Like, yeah, how did you notice that in the third? Come to find out, this person, supervisor at a laboratory who does hiring and firing. So said, you want the job, Croy? You got it. So boom, that was it. Did all the paperwork. Everything was done within 15 minutes. Did a background check, drug test, boom. I got hired and I got in. That's how it went down for me. That's how it went down. Now again, I said I was going fast because YouTube be bugging with these videos that exceed 10 minutes. I'm already at the 12-minute mark, so I'm gonna be cutting it short soon, but that was my journey. And the first spot I was working at was a patient service center, laboratory. If you don't know what a patient service center is, it's just like a doctor's office, similar to it. And that was my break. And once I started working there, you know, I learned a lot. I did very well in phlebotomy, you know, like I did in school. I was getting the blood on the first try, this, that, and the third, but yeah. And from there, you know, everything else came along, you know. Of course, there was some BS, you know, BS with coworkers, BS on the job. So, you know, I had my ups and downs, a whole lot of them, I kid you not. But bottom line is, my story was real. My story, it was serious. Like, when I say I went through a lot, I mean I went through a lot, a whole lot. And when I tell you about those self-evaluations, do them. Do them, because you could find yourself very, very, very eager and just, you want to start working so bad that you start overlooking the obvious things. You know, you may sign up to be a floater and you can't float because you got kids at home or whatever, you know. So please do a self-evaluation. If you find yourself getting denied or not getting opportunities, do it because it helps. But nonetheless, my situation, my journey was very, very serious. Very serious. I kid you not, I went through a lot. I went through a lot. All the preparation for these interviews, taking time off of work to go to these interviews, you know, this, that, and the third, you know, with my lady at work, finding babysitters to do it. Yo, it was tough. But I was able to do it, got it done, found my break. So for all of you out there, keep at it. Don't give up. Like, I know your journey may be hard. It may be difficult, but don't give up. Just keep at it. Keep at it. You know, most of the phlebotomists always say it is a woman or are women. So you can do it. It can go well for you. Just keep fighting and don't give up.